Hello there everyone, my name is Ayumu Kagami, and I have a special topic for today. And it's a weird one that I have to define, so that's good. I wanted to talk about nostalgia burn or overhype. Basically just how, at least for me personally, certain games lose their appeal because of them. When I say nostalgia burn, I mean it's like just people not shutting up about it, like Ocarina of Time. People just say it is the pinnacle of gaming a lot of the time, or at least like the best game ever, and so stuff like that. And then we all know the overhype thing, but I wanted to put both sides up on it because there's good and there's bad to not talking too much about a game. Or raising its level to a certain degree. Some people it does not affect. I try my very hardest to objectively look at a game as what it is, and partially when it is. Games like the original Pokemon, or like Red and Blue, have a lot of problems to it. Much more in Japan with Red and Green. Those are worse. We got a copy of Blue over here where they updated it. It's awful over there. If you've seen any of the sprites, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the original Legend of Zelda, I feel that has aged exceptionally poorly. It just... They did the best with Link to the Past. And I know going back and sharing games with other people, people have absolutely not enjoyed the game. Like A Link to the Past. I know I've shared it with people and they're like, this game sucks. Because they don't like 2D games. Or 2D Zeldas. Personally, I feel that 3D Sonic games are all terrible. Terrible or okay. Generations had some awesome moments in it, but they were all 2D. But it also had some okay 3D segments. It's very... We'll get to that another time, if you guys want. But, so, talking about those and other people playing them, obviously everyone has their own style that they prefer. And that's kind of where the nostalgia burn, I feel, can come from. Because we don't shut up about it. We talk a lot about things that we enjoy, and sometimes we forget our origins or what we're actually talking about. Like the fish that's this big, then this big, and then this big, this. So it is a story that never ends. I'm going to use Ocarina of Time as a big one. My feelings... I'll clear it up. My feelings on the game. I've played better Zelda. It's good. I just like other ones more. And that's my opinion. I feel 2D Zeldas are far superior. Like A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds and all those, because they're super good. But when we're talking about them, it starts off with, this game is awesome, and that's very much so an opinion, and it's very difficult to argue with it unless you personally do not share that opinion. So it being awesome is one thing, but when told that a game is flawless or something is flawless, it is very difficult for us all not to kind of pick at it more so than need be. With Ocarina of Time, it's super easy to attack the owl. It's awful. The water temple is just absolutely awful. That's garbage. It's not super hard, it's just tedious as all hell let out. It could be done much better, I feel. The Master Quest version of it is just better. but it's just a lot of tedium in it. And that loses a lot of appeal, and people, this is a flawless game. Let me give you some flaws. Like the original Pokemon games, everyone's like, oh yeah, you ran out of ideas for Pokemon after the Gen 1ers. They sucked. Gen 1 sucks. Crits were jacked up. I think it was based on speed. The special wasn't split. Pokemon typing wasn't correct. Some types affected things that it wasn't supposed to, or vice versa. It's like, hey, go get a ghost Pokemon, and then it's like, oh, snap, ghost Pokemon aren't that good, and stuff like that. And it's improved dramatically. I still very much appreciate the original 151. But we can also admit that things have gotten better. We've grown as a community and as developers, and we've made new things. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're much better, like with Generation 2, and now all the way up to 7, there's a lot more good in it, so we can grow. So I guess it's a very weird open-ended thing. I just wanted to talk about Nostalgia Burn, and that's what I'm calling it. It's a little TM on it. Because hashtag Nostalgia Burn. Name a game that you've been burned on because people wouldn't stop talking about it. Saying it's the best thing ever, and you played it, and you're like, eh. And sometimes it's one of the first games we've played, and then we play a better version of it. Like with Pokemon, Gen 1, and then you play Gen 2, and it's just a better version of it, because it fixed the sprites look better, and the controls are better, you move around better, it's just better. Or you can play the remake of it, because that's always good, yeah! So, Nostalgia Burn, talk to me about it, what you got? Overhype. This is something that's very difficult to like fight and stand with, because the more hyped you are for a game, the higher pedestal you're putting it on. And there are games that I have been burned fairly bad on. Perfect example is Mighty Number 9. I was not burned on that, but that is a very good example of a game which is it got so much recognition for it. But that was when it first came out. A game which I personally have had a weird vendetta against my entire life is not my entire life, because it came out in 2011 and I bought it when it was new because I wanted to try it. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of Skyrim games, or even Bethesda in general. Well, Bethesda's open world games, so Fallout included, because games like Dishonored are totally different. Kinda different. And they also did Evil Within, which is totally different. But there are games that are done... It's something where people won't leave it be. And that's where, like, I have hipstery hatred of, but I just genuinely do not find the same satisfaction that other people do. Water, drink it. It's good for you. I don't drink enough of it. But, so that is a game where people do not stop. Everyone's like, Skyrim, that's the best ever. And for me, that had overhype. And to this day has overhype for me, because it's like I'm punished for not liking it. And people like, you don't like Skyrim? Do you even like video games? Well, yeah, I do. That's why I make YouTube videos. I mean, it's kind of a thing. But, I love video games. I just don't like those kind of games. I feel they're too empty for me, because I don't care about anything in it. I get, oh, this is a personal problem. Okay. Alright. I understand. I had a very good time playing Fallout 4. So take that. Just do not enjoy Skyrim. And that game has burned me multiple times. I have a small history of it being the buggiest game I've ever played in my entire life. Even Sonic 06 was better. For me, personally. Sonic 06, oddly enough, didn't have that many bugs in it for me, so... Woo, it was still jacked up, but it did not have, like, the same broken nature that it did for other people. For me, Skyrim on PC didn't work, on PS3 didn't work, and on Xbox 360 didn't work. I played it on all three of them around launch, and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And I almost have to keep it low-key because people are too focused on it. They're too obsessed with it being risen to this unholy level. And that burns me out on it, so it makes me very uneager to even try to give the game a chance. I have the complete legendary whatever HD updated version of it. Someone bought it for me, and I want to give it a full try. I've got to tread carefully because for 6 years I have not enjoyed that game, and especially with how much people will talk down games that I enjoy because they didn't meet the quality that Skyrim had, like Final Fantasy games. And I'm not talking like 13, which came out around the same time. No, go ahead, tear that down. It's just okay. But they'll be like, nah, this is how RPGs are supposed to be. JRPGs are stupid because they're too heavy-handed. They're different games. For Skyrim, it has, and open world games a lot of the time, the pick your own story. I personally am not someone who wants to follow a world. I want to follow characters and see how their journey goes. I genuinely don't care about, like, did you know 400 years ago there was a massive war, and you can read about it in my novel. I don't care. I just don't care. Now, if you're like, hey, this is the story of this character going through this, I'm like, all right, I can go with that. If you're like, the country of Japan, I don't care. I'm sorry, it's just not me. I don't care. I want to follow characters, and it can be a lot of different characters, but I want to follow characters, see what their experience is. So, this has been super off topic, and that's kind of the way I wanted it. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I thought about having some people on, but I have a very weird description of it. I understand nostalgia is a personalized opinion on something that's supposed to be older or something like that, but it also can still affect new people coming into it, especially with games constantly getting put, like the emulating games being put onto newer consoles, like the eShops and PlayStation stores and all of those, and Steam is there. So there's a lot to it that can detract from it and kind of take away from the essence of just the game is what it is. Obviously, age can affect it. Games like Doom have not aged as well because the entire first-person shooting genre has changed. In games like Final Fantasy 1, that game is a buggy piece of shit. It's actually not shit. That's exaggerating. It's very buggy and difficult and methodical. 2 is garbage. Final Fantasy 2, hottest garbage. We played it on stream. It was awful. Good God. But, yeah. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I'm going to be going into a very weird segment coming up. Not coming up, but I'm going to be trying out one of those games where everyone has said it's one of the best, and that is Fallout 2. It's not Fallout, it's Half-Life. Don't know why I said Fallout, but it's Half-Life 2. I'm going to be trying that coming up soon. So, yeah, that'll be exciting. Let's check out if I get burned or can turn over a new leaf. Have a good one, everyone. Let me know if there's a different topic you want me to talk about. It means a lot, and I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Thank you very much. I have had several requests for more of these videos, and it means a whole awful lot. Thank you very much. We'll be back with more random topics that I want to talk about, or reviews, or something where I'm in front of the camera. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.